What is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video. So y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, as promised, to a couple of good people in the comments who were telling me just to, keep the series going on the cloning stuff. Basically, stay on the next, right? In this video, I remember, I think from the first video we dropped on the cloning stuff, maybe a week or so ago, right? Some of y'all were talking about the part where I mentioned we were eating cloned dairy products. You know, we were eating cloned meat from cloned animals, right? Dairy, red meat, so on and so on, pork, all that good stuff, right? And y'all mentioned that Cat Williams talked about it in one of his stand-ups. I did find the clip, so I want to play that clip. Then I also want to play a clip where Cat Williams talked about cloning on the Theo Von podcast. If y'all remember, a while back, I did a video and we reacted to something from the Theo Von podcast, and I think it was more into the trafficking side of things, right? Also, y'all already see who's on the screen right now, Dave Chappelle. So I did a little bit of digging, and it wasn't too hard to find a clip that a lot of people talk about that was kind of scrubbed off the internet. Or, you know, the algorithm just makes it really hard to find, right? So the clip was from Dave Chappelle's cousin. Now, at first, I was thinking maybe this is just going to be a random guy just saying they're Dave Chappelle's cousin and all this good stuff, right? But the clip sounded very convincing. And he goes on to talk about how him and Dave, you know, were like very close cousins, how he believed Dave Chappelle was cloned. Just a very interesting 6 or 7 minute clip to listen to. So I figured on the back half of this video, we'll get a little bit into Dave Chappelle. So this video I was just going to use to kind of circle back on some of those topics. I don't think I ever really did a full video like discussing Dave Chappelle and him being cloned. So this video will, you know, we'll kind of take a portion of the video to go into that as well. This video will get us into the next video that I think I'm going to drop on Sunday. A lot of y'all were bringing up the Cabbage Patch Kids, and I found some other stuff that was very interesting about that topic. Now, don't go spoiling it for everybody else commenting about that video under this video. And I appreciate y'all for noticing this kind of stuff, but bear with me. Save those comments for Sunday. We're going to get into all of that, all right? I want y'all to give me y'all thoughts and opinions on this video today. So look, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into some stuff with Cat Williams. You know, his opinion on cloning and all that good stuff. Y'all know he does a very good job telling the truth in disguise of jokes. So we'll go all the way back. We'll listen to that. Then we'll also listen to the other clip from Cat. And we'll talk about it a little bit more, all right? So with that being said,
this week, we're hosting a free trading and investing workshop right here in Atlanta. Inside this workshop, you'll learn you don't need to be a Wall Street pro to
check this out.
Real shit, be real shit, because these motherfuckers are attacking real shit at every motherfucking angle. They had a story on CNN 3 weeks ago that said the USDA has approved the sale of clone meat to the American public. What? See, I was high when I originally saw
You
the
can
story.
see what I'm doing.
So
That's why I didn't answer you the first time. That's the dumbest question I've ever heard.
Look at the story, and it still fucking said the USDA has approved the sale of clone meat to the American public. Ain't that about a god? You raggedy motherfuckers would feed. You gonna feed? We saw the movie Multiplicity. We know what the fuck clone mean, motherfucker. It mean retarded. You gonna feed us the retarded ass clone cow meat now? And I thought niggas was gonna tear up the streets and riot and shit, and nothing fucking happened. You these motherfuckers, you gonna feed America the clone? Ain't it motherfuckers starving in other countries that we could have gained a goddamn retarded clone meat to first to see if that was gonna work out? They ain't got shit to eat. They don't give a fuck. You can't feed it to us first, you motherfuckers. And some of you same niggas gonna be eating the shit out that goddamn clone meat and talking shit about nigga. Fuck that nigga. The clone meat is delicious, nigga. They put the garlic in the cow as a baby, nigga. You ain't even gotta season it. It just already grow up garlicky and delicious, nigga. They don't give a fuck about us. You know the clone meat gonna be cheap as shit, nigga. Fuck that. I went to McDonald's and got the McClone combo for 19 cents, nigga. Had 11 big ass Big Macs in it. It was wonderful. That's all right. That's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Feed your baby the retarded ass clone grades, and the bitch can't do her alphabet correctly. Just A, B, C, D. If you fed that bitch the retarded ass cow meat.
Now, I won't spend too much time breaking up the video right here, but I did want to say this, right? Now, if you think about it, he did that stand-up back in 2008. So, you know, that's a long time ago, right? A lot of us, we were in high school, middle school, you know, young. We didn't know anything about this stuff. So, you have to think about why. First off, he's on stage bringing up something that I'm pretty sure 98% of that crowd never heard of. People don't pay attention to the news, CNN articles. And we're talking about back in 2008. There was no Instagram pages announcing all kind of news that's important. It was barely even Twitter at that time. You know, it was Facebook, so on and so on.
What's it to
right?
you?
Nobody knew. So we gotta ask the why question. Why did they approve cloned meat?
Okay, I'm not trying to watch a video about
It's
clone
like,
meat.
man, did we run out of real chickens and cows a long ass time ago?
I
And we
don't
just
care
didn't know.
about that.
You know, every cow and chicken on the farm is a product of a cloned, you know, chicken, cow, whatever. They're all cloned now at this point.
Okay, let's get to the point.
You know, it's like, yeah, I'm making light of it. That clip in here as well.
Shortage.
Resistance to the Empire to subside.
We cannot stop them alone.
If it's war, I want to win. The rebels are finished.
Indeed, the Commission itself is unable to agree at this time on all the ethical issues that surround the potential cloning of human beings. On one key ethical issue, however, we are unanimous. It seems clear to all of us, given the current state of science in this area, that any attempts to clone human beings via somatic cell transfer techniques is uncertain in its prospects, is unacceptably dangerous to the fetus, and is morally unacceptable at this time. We
Why
believe
do
there is
they people
widespread
listen to
moral
politics?
consensus on this issue. Moreover, we think that more time for further public deliberation on the complex ethical and social concerns that surround the issue would be helpful. We therefore recommend that the current moratorium on attempts to create children in this manner be continued, and that you immediately ask for voluntary compliance in the private sector, while federal legislation.
Can you get away from me? Every time you come on here, you talk about something about white men. I don't give a fuck about white men, bruh. Leave me the fuck alone. Keep saying the same shit. Like, over and again.
And with appropriate sunset provisions, banning the use of these techniques for creating children,
Jesus.
banning the use of these techniques for creating children.
Hey,
Hi.
what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video, so y'all already know what's going on.
I hope not, shit.
Alright, y'all. Now, as promised, today we are here to basically continue from the last video, right? Now, I got a couple more clips I want to show y'all from that specific podcast episode on the Deep End channel with Taylor Welch. That's the original channel. And the guy that was speaking the most, his name is Dan Duval. I wanted to split it up because, you know, it kind of jumped from two different topics as far as the Marine Kingdom, you know, underwater kingdoms. And this one is more about cloning and the transfer of consciousness, which we are very aware of on this channel. As y'all know, I did like a whole series of cloning videos, and those videos were not just, you know, cloned rappers and clone actors. We actually pulled up government documents.
I don't
We
give
weren't just talking about rappers being cloned, actors being cloned,
I don't care.
Going
Like,
into detail,
I don't care, bro. Like,
real
for real.
facts, the government speaking about it, articles that came from officials directly next to the president at that time, as in Bill Clinton. I can get that clip back in here just for some context, because y'all remember he was like one of the only presidents that really talked about it, as in like they had to stop it, so on and so on. This was like early 2000s, and he said they had to stop federal funding for cloning. I can throw the clip in here for those who don't remember, but we did a very extensive series on cloning. And like I said, it wasn't just showing, you know, rappers and actors and stuff and saying, hey, this ear looks different. Hey, this nose look different. No, they actually clone people. We're not talking about the sheep that was cloned, Dolly or whatever that was. Cloning is beyond real. For the people that
Duh,
still
we all know
question
that.
it, still don't believe it, it is real.
From Marvel Studios. Studios fighting in 10 days.
It says today.
Let's do this.
The summer begins.
This could get messy.
Marvel Studios Thunderbolts.
Alexi, have you slept?
The recent breakthrough in animal cloning is one that could yield enormous benefits, enabling us to reproduce the most productive strains of crop and livestock, holding out the promise of revolutionary new medical treatments and cures, helping to unlock the greatest secrets of the genetic code. But unlike the splitting of the atom, this is a discovery that carries burdens as well as benefits. Science often moves faster than our ability to understand its implications. That is why we have a responsibility to move with caution and care, to harness the powerful forces of science and technology so that we can reap the benefit while minimizing the potential danger. This new discovery raises the troubling prospect that it might someday be possible to clone human beings from our own genetic
It's
material.
just funny because
There
JFK
is much
is
about
something
cloning
else,
that we
bro.
still do not know. But this much
I got this
we
nigga
do.
doing serious shit at
Being
all
discovery
times.
that touches upon human creation is not simply a matter of scientific inquiry. It is a matter of morality and spirituality as well. My own view is that human cloning would have to raise deep concerns, given our most cherished concepts of faith and humanity. Each human life is unique, born of a miracle that reaches beyond
They don't want
planetary
human
science.
cloning because they don't want to
I believe we must
overpopulate
respect
the
this
world.
profound gift and resist the
Then
temptation
boom,
to
more poor
replicate
people.
ourselves. At the very least, however, we should all agree
Can you
that
stop?
we need a better understanding of the scope and implications of this most recent breakthrough. Last week, I asked our National Bioethics Advisory Commission, headed by President Harold Shapiro of Princeton, to conduct a thorough review of the legal and the ethical issues raised by this new cloning
Bye,
discovery,
bye,
and to recommend possible actions to prevent its abuse, reporting back to me by the end of May. In the meantime, I am taking further steps to prevent human cloning. The federal government currently restricts the use of federal funds for research involving human embryos. After reviewing these restrictions, our
The
administration
government worries
believes
about
that there
shit.
are loopholes that could allow the
That
cloning
just
of human
doesn't make
beings if
sense.
the technology
You
were
can't talk
developed.
about human sex
Therefore, today
trafficking.
I am
You
issuing
can't
a
talk
directive
about
that bans the use of
kidnapping,
any
missing
federal funds
children, but you
for
can
any
talk
cloning
about
of human
fucking
beings.
cloning.
Effective immediately,
I don't even
no
care about
federal agency
politics.
may
He's just
support,
putting it in the
fund,
video. I
or
thought this was gonna
undertake
be
such
something
activity.
else. I don't even fucking want to hear
Of
this
course, a
nigga
great
talk.
deal of research and activity in this area is supported by private funds. That is why I am urging the entire scientific and medical community, every foundation, every university, every industry that supports work in this area, to heed the federal government's example. I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire nation have had a real chance to understand and debate the profound ethical implications of the latest advances.
So basically, what y'all just heard in the most simplest form was Bill Clinton pull up, right? He pulled up And he said, look, y'all, I'm
Oh, I
asking
thought that
y'all
was John F.
to
Kennedy.
stop.
Oops. My bad. Okay, guys, I'm getting off.